Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I want to welcome you to our 39th annual Community Volunteer Recognition event. My name is 39th. My name is Scott Neal. I'm the city manager in town, and I'll be your host for tonight, for at least the first half of the evening. You know, this event, in terms of the wide array of city events across our state, is really a unique event. It's a unique event in that it provides the city sponsors a program or an event that provides an opportunity for other organizations in the community, in addition to the city, to really provide some recognition to people who are doing a great deal of volunteering in the community, not just for the city, but for all kinds of organizations. And really one of the biggest resources that we have in Edina is the volunteer spirit of the people that live here. We couldn't have the kind of quality of community we have without your help. So we appreciate that very much, and we always look forward to celebrating this night and celebrating the opportunities and the volunteerism that we see in the town. So thank you. Just a couple of bits about how we do this event. As I said, I'm your MC. But I'm not giving the awards. The awards really are given by organizations to folks in their own organizations. So I will call up organizations in the lineup that you see in tonight's program. There will be somebody from the organization that gives the award, and they'll call up the person in the organization that's receiving it. We need those people, all of them, if they're going to speak, to stay right here at this microphone, because there's a tiny microphone right here connected to that camera, and it all works out nicely because you'll view this later on cable TV. After the community awards, I'll turn the microphone and the podium over to the mayor, and the mayor has a number of annual commendations that he will give as well. So we'll get right to it. Our first award tonight is given by the Edina Community Foundation.
And if you have a program, that means that I'm Dick Crockett from the Edina Community Foundation. We're all volunteers and experts here tonight, so I'm not going to tell you anything you don't know, but I'd just like to review a little bit of what we've probably learned about volunteers over the years. There's obviously a wide range. At the low end, they're the volunteers that sign up, and then you don't hear as much from them as you wanted to. They maybe don't quite deliver at the level you hoped they would. I think of one instance in my life a long time ago where I might have been that kind of volunteer. There's a big middle with lots of volunteers that mean what they say, they do what you ask them to, they make the event a success, and we're all eternally grateful for them. And then there's a high end, and I'm pleased tonight to represent somebody from our foundation world who exemplifies the high end. Our nominator, Tom Gump, from my board of directors, had this to say about Leslie Groth. Leslie is one of those unique individuals that not only has the passion to serve our wonderful community, but also does in a joyful way that is contagious to all the other volunteers who are volunteering beside her. Tom says, I have seen this firsthand during last year's Edina Community Foundation 4th of July parade. As co-chair of last year's parade, Tom was able to rely on Leslie to handle the booking of the entertainment groups for the event, arguably the hardest position on the committee. Leslie handled the job with the grace and poise that I seldom witness. When issues arise, as they inevitably do in any event of that size, Leslie took care of the issues and never complained about a single one of them during our parade meetings. What this is describing is somebody who not only does what you ask them to do, but looks for other things to do and actually assumes some leadership of the event. That's why we're happy to award our Volunteer of the Year award this year to Leslie. I want to add, she comes from good family training here because her father, Denny Metzold, is right over there. A lot of you know Denny.
Pardon me.
And she's here with her husband Theo and son Henry, right here. She got all this done while being a mother.
Congratulations, Leslie. Now, Morningside Women's Club. Yes.
Good evening. My name is Jillian Framke, and I'm the Women's Club President, the Morningside Women's Club President this year. This is our 81st year. It's a multi-generation club. We have members of the neighborhood, but also friends from other outlying neighborhoods. This year, we'd like to recognize a special member, and her name is Sarah Hardy. Come on up, Sarah. As our 2018 Volunteer of the Year recipient. Sarah's lived in Morningside for 5 years. She's served as our treasurer for 4 years. She knows how to do all those spreadsheets and make it happen, and we love that about her. It's a big job. We have a budget and a lot of scholarship money to manage. Our club raised over $13,000 this year for Edina high school seniors to give to them. So that's a lot of things to manage. One of the things I appreciate about Sarah, though, as treasurer, beyond the spreadsheets and such, is every month when she's welcoming members and taking their money and having to concentrate, she somehow manages to smile and welcome everyone and make them feel really important. So it's a nice person to have right at the front desk to have a good, welcoming, smiling personality. So Sarah's also a full-time parent of 2 teenagers. She works as a parent educator in the Edina Early Learning Center, doing adult educations for parents ages 0 to 18. So please help me to recognize Sarah as our Volunteer of the Year.
Congratulations, Sarah. Now, the Rotary Club of Edina for their presentation. Mr. Asado.
Hi, my name is San Asato. I'm president of Edina Noon Rotary Club. It is with my privilege today that I give our club's Rotarian of the Year award to Gordy. So one of the all organizations have these unwritten rules as to what presidents do. So this is one of these. So when I became president, July of last year, I started kind of think, oh, all right, we got 174 Rotarians members in our club. Who? So I kind of racked my brain for a while, and I kind of decided early on that I had Gordy in mind. And then his daughter, later that year, came up with the book on Gordy's life. Stephanie and Bob, you have the book, right? About Gordy's life. And when I read that, I kind of said, okay, that seals it. And one of my favorite lines from that book is Gordy, in his own words, saying that he graduated top 85% of the class. So I figured that's my man. Gordy, it is with privilege that give you this award. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations, Gordy. And now we have, I guess, Edina Public Schools and Community Foundation, right? Community education, sorry.
Good evening. My name is Chris Holden. I'm the principal at Normandale Elementary French Immersion School. For the past several years, if you walked the halls of Normandale Elementary, you may have crossed paths with Phil, the therapy dog, and his owner, Heidi Sargent. Right here. Here's Phil. There's Heidi. Phil began working with students 5 years ago in Normandale's Success program and became their first tail-wagging tutor. During Phil's tutoring sessions, students practice reading out loud to him. He's a wonderful listener and never complains about what is being read to him. Because Phil spent so much time in the hallways before school, classroom teachers began noticing his presence and asked Heidi if Phil could work with students during the school day as well. Today, Phil and Heidi can be seen before and during school working with students as they read or play math games alongside them. Apparently, dogs enjoy networking because 3 years later, Phil and Heidi recruited Oscar and Lee to join their ranks. Oscar, Lee. Both dogs are certified through Therapy Dogs International and love patiently listening to the students read to them or work through their math problems. Normandale is lucky to have 2 therapy dogs and their generous owners who provide the learners an opportunity to grow their skills in a non-threatening environment. Normandale has gone to the dogs, and the students and staff couldn't be happier about it.
So I will be brief, since Oscar is a man of few words, in part because, well, he's a dog, but also because I think Oscar would just tell you that he is grateful for the opportunity to go to Normandale 2 days a week to help students with their reading skills and math skills. And in return, he gets all of the attention and hugs and loves and pats that he could ever ask for. So that's a pretty sweet deal. I think for Oscar, being a therapy dog is clearly his passion, it's his purpose, and it's pretty fantastic. So Oscar and I both just wanted to extend a huge and heartfelt thank you to Principal Chris Holden and all of the teachers and staff at Normandale for welcoming us to the Normandale community over the past couple of years, and also to Karen Rarick and her colleagues for helping us start the volunteer process and for this fantastic honor. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Heidi and Phil and Lee and Oscar. Congratulations. And now it's the Edina Garden Council.
So hi, I'm Ellen Jones. I'm the immediate past president of the Edina Garden Council. And I'm here, you might wonder, well, who are the Edina Garden Council members and what do we do? We're a nonprofit organization that has 130 members and 5 garden clubs. We create and design and plant the plantings in 7 of the city parks. We seed 30,000 seeds every spring in the greenhouses and grow them for all the city parks. We plant at the senior center and at the city hall, and we have green thumbs that have created and figured out when to plant these table decorations, which you're welcome to take home somehow. I think the mayor has some scheme, where is he, to give them out. But anyhow, we've done that. But one of the things that, the reason that I am here is because I am here to tell you that we couldn't do these things if we didn't have our Volunteer of the Year, Tim Zimmerman. So Tim is our volunteer because of his expertise, dedication, and service. He's been Edina's horticulturist for 34 years and is a cherished member of the city's park staff. His work ethic is a role model for all who come in contact with him. The Garden Council is so grateful for Tim for the work he does above and beyond all his responsibilities, because he does do all of his job, and then in his spare time, he makes the time to work with the Edina Garden Council. He does these things with a passion, with an exemplary devotion to getting things done right, and with an eye on conserving resources and a positive, can-do attitude. Tim is our Yoda, the one who truly knows not only the science, but the art of successfully growing plants. He teaches us exactly why the seedlings didn't sprout, He teaches us how much water a certain variety needs and how much light. It is a delight to be part of this organization with such a kind and optimistic man like Tim. In general, what he says to us gardeners is, and these are his words, there are no gardening mistakes, only experiments. For these reasons and so very many more, the Edina Garden Council is very happy to award Tim Zimmerman our Volunteer of the Year.
I love working with the Edina Garden Council. Their heart is in everything from planting to plant sales to peony dig-ups, you name it, to garden tours. I love working with them and continue on to work with. Thank you so much for all your help in all these years, the Edina Garden Club. Thanks again.
Congratulations, Tim. Now, if you're following along, you see Gordy Lewis, the Rotary Club of Edina here. He already got his award, so he's not getting. Well, he is getting another one, but he's not getting 3. How about that? So we'll move along now to the Edina Federated Women's Club.
Good evening. My name is Shirley Burr, current president of Edina Federated Women's Club. In the fall of 2012, Arlene Clapp joined the Edina Federated Women's Club, or EFWC, and considering the fact that in 2019 our organization will celebrate 50 years of existence, and considering the number of Feds who are already celebrating 30 years of membership in EFWC, Arlene could be considered a newcomer. But I can tell you that since she joined in 2012, not a single blade of grass has grown under her feet. Incorporating her experience as an elementary educator and then 38 years as an executive recruiter in the commercial areas of commercial real estate and construction placement, Arlene has made significant contributions to EFWC. She served as Vice President membership twice, during which time 20 new people came into our club. She was co-chair of Feds Fest Gala in January of 2014, has been president-elect, president, and advisor, and has also filled several supportive and social roles. However, tonight, we have named Arlene as our Volunteer of the Year, primarily in recognition of her service as chair of our Feds Fest 2017 Gala fundraiser. In this role, she did what effective chairs do. She recruited competent, enthusiastic, and diligent committee chairs, made herself available for guidance and support, and then she got out of their way. The result of her passionate leadership, combined with a lot of hard work by many EFWC members, was an enjoyable fundraiser that allowed EFWC to give $18,000 to each of 3 deserving organizations, the Edina Education Fund, 66 West, and Oasis for Youth. It is my distinct privilege to award this to Arlene Clapp, and I give you Arlene.
Brief I will be. I appreciate this honor. I thank all my Feds friends and family for coming in support of me tonight. And I am humbled. You know the phrase, or I'll paraphrase what we've all heard, that in order to excel at the top, you need to have diligent, hardworking people working alongside of you. and that certainly describes our past year. It's been a wonderful thing to see, and we have been grateful to be able to give to these 3 organizations that Shirley mentioned. Thank you, and please consider joining us. Wouldn't that be fun? Then next time, you could be on one of these committees and have a lot of fun alongside of us. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Arlene. Now, before I turn this podium over to Mayor Hovland, I do want to recognize Sharon Allison. Sharon, would you raise your hand? Sharon is Sharon works as an executive assistant in the administration department at City Hall, and she is responsible for everything you see here tonight. And she did it twice, right? So remember, we had this set, and then we canceled, and we reset it. And we actually have more people here tonight than we did scheduled for the first time. But nice job, Sharon. Thank you for your work. So now it's my honor to introduce Mayor James Hovland, the longest serving mayor in the history of Edina, and he will close out the night. Mayor Hovland.
It's hard to believe that. I don't know. We had some great mayors that preceded me, including this guy sitting right over here who was my mentor.
Jimmy, your name tag is on your sleeve.
Pardon me?
Your name tag's on.
My wife is telling me something. Oh yeah. I'm wearing my name tag on my sleeve. There's got to be there's a song in there somewhere, I think. I don't think I need that. Yeah, variation of that, right, Rosie? So when Arlene was talking about the Feds family, it made me think about a town done right is like a big family, and we all get to be kind of partners in a civilized world, or maintaining a civilized world. And I think that's one of the great things about Edina is that you don't have to get too far afield that's 2 degrees of separation, 3 degrees of separation, where it's maybe not relations, but it's or relatives, but it's sure relationships. So I feel lucky that I have gotten to know every one of the people in this room over time, and appreciate so much what all you do for our town. When Arlene happened to call me today, and thinking about a big family, us all being a significantly large family, the first question out of Arlene's mouth when I saw that she had called was, how's Jennifer's son doing? Jennifer Benarat, our communications director, has a son Jack who has had a major surgery near his spine and discovered cancer. And so it's been a rough time for the household, but she is here tonight with that always great smile on her face, weathering through all of this as her son gets prepared to go through all the rigors of cancer treatment. So our best thoughts are with you. So I was looking up some things about volunteers, and one of the things I found, I think I've seen it before, was don't ever question the value of volunteers. Noah's Ark was built by volunteers. The Titanic was built by professionals. One thing that did strike me from all these years of being involved in local government was, you get attracted to things that involve comments about democracy, but it said volunteering is the ultimate exercise in democracy. When you volunteer, you vote every single day about the kind of community you want to live in. And I think about our community and all of you who vote every day on what kind of community you want to live in by doing the things that you do in the areas where it tugs your heart the most. So I thank you very much for all of that. We partners in civilization also have some mayor's commendations that we want to give out. And the first one is going to go to the Garden Council, where I try to spend at least a month of that big mayor's salary every year in the spring with Betty's help and Karen's help. Where's my guide? Karen, my guide. Where's Karen? Yeah. She gets me on the right path, gets me organized for the whole summer. So the Mayor's Service Club commendation is going to the Edina Garden Council. I don't, folks from the Garden Council want to come up here and stand with me? Whoever wants to come up. Yeah? Betty? Yeah? Karen? Others? Or a few, anyway, a few of you can come up here while I brag about the organization. So this is a 65-year-old organization. Yeah, Ellen, thanks for coming back up. The Edina Garden Council has served the community since its founding in 1953. Today, the Garden Council comprises 125 members from 5 affiliated garden clubs. Arneson Acres Park is home to the Garden Council, which is committed to enhancing and improving the features at Arneson Acres Park. The Garden Council purchases annual supplies for greenhouse operations and donates funds to replant areas of the park. Currently, members are working on a renovation of the Memory Garden at Arneson Acres. A Garden Council committee has worked for 3 years on this project. Garden Club members partnered with the members of the Peony Society, moving peonies from the Memory Garden area to new peony beds on the west side of the park in preparation for the renovation. They're currently raising money for the renovation of the Memory Garden. As envisioned, the renovated Memory Garden will be a tranquil haven for those visiting Arneson Acres Park. The Garden Council's work can be seen all over the city of Edina. Last year, members volunteered almost 1,000 hours to sow seed and transplant seedlings at the city's greenhouse. These plants were used in the city's 100 gardens and parks and open spaces. The Garden Council planted 7 of the 100 gardens themselves. The council is also known for its annual plant sale, Buckthorn Eradication. You've all seen that t-shirt, I think, Die Buckthorn Scum. Tours of Arneson Acres Park and stunning flower arrangements. For many years, the Garden Council has supported the community youth and presented scholarships to the horticultural students in the Twin Cities area. Please help me recognize the Garden Council for the wonderful work that they've done for our town for the last 65 years. Thank you. Betty, want to speak on behalf of the council? Somebody want to speak on behalf of the council?
Come to our plant sale, everybody. It's the best deal in the city.
It's a great one. And then would one of the representatives of the Garden Council please stay up here? And then here's the award. Betty, you want to just sit?
Thank you.
Mother's Day weekend. Yeah, Friday and Saturday.
There'll be signs on 70th that you should watch for. So every year we give a mayor's individual service commendation as well. And it usually goes to a particular individual, but this year in meeting with staff and our city manager, we thought about 2 guys that have done just an unbelievable job for our community in the area of recreation. And would the big bookends please come up here, please? The first guy that's coming your way is Rick Itis. The next one is Paul Prestis. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the project and the work these 2 guys have done on one of the committees that's so important out here at Braemar. You probably noticed they were staring out the window most of the time. They're checking everything to make sure it's done right. Almost 4 years ago, the city began working with golf course architect Richard Bandel to create a roadmap for the future of the Braemar Golf Course and Braemar Park. The goal of the master planning process was to develop a plan to make the course more playable and attractive to people of all abilities and secure Braemar as the area's premier golf course. Construction began in October. They got 2018 here. That would be coming up yet. And as you can see, we've been working on this for a while. I think it was 2016. Yeah. Of the first new regulation 18-hole golf course in Minnesota to be built in more than a decade on the site of an old 27-hole golf course. The old layout was completely stripped down and transformed into a 6,941-yard golf course that will not only serve Edina golfers, but also residents for other types of activities. The new layout frees up almost 10 acres for more than a mile of walking trails, 5 miles of ski trails, bocce ball, recreational opportunities on open space for disc golf, foot golf, other kinds of golf. I don't know, disc golf, did I say that? Yeah, picnicking, sledding. It says filing golf. I don't know what filing golf is, but sledding and more. So Rick Itis and Paul Prestis are two gentlemen that have dedicated countless hours in development of that master plan. They started with the golf course committee that was composed of, I think, about 8 people. So they were in it from the very beginning of the project. They helped thoroughly review each of the 27 golf course architect submittals before Richard Mandel was selected. They participated in all relevant meetings, walkthroughs, open houses, and public meetings pertaining to the process. They continue to support the process with their input and attendance at construction site tours and architectural meetings, and they have a personal vested interest in everything that we're doing out here to make this realize its full potential. In addition to his role on the Master Plan Task Force, Rick's been on the board at Braemar and the president of the Braemar Golf Association and the Braemar Men's Club, and has been recognized as a distinguished member of the Braemar Golf Association. He recently participated in the RFP process to find a new food and beverage partner at the course, and also he's also been chosen to be the newest member of the Park and Recreation Commission. So please help me thank these two guys that have done a wonderful job and continue to do a wonderful job in leading our Braemar Master Plan and the Braemar Golf Course through its next phase of life.
Thank you, Mayor. Just 2 things. As you can see outside the window, I think we're excited about what's happened so far, and we look forward to probably this August when we look outside and see a completed brand new golf course. I think it's something that the city will be very proud of, and I think we're going to have one of the premier public golf courses in the Midwest. And most importantly, and not certainly the least, is along the way I made a new close friend in the man that's right behind me. Thanks.
Thanks, Rick. And I just want to reiterate that when you go through a project like this and it involves a lot of time, there's a lot of discussion. And the important thing is that Rick and I are still talking. And in fact, we have become best of friends, and I'm proud to know him. And I'm happy for the chance to work on this project, and I'm happy for the residents of Edina that will get to enjoy it. Thank you very much.
So some of you may remember that name, Paul Prestis. He was when he was a young guy, very young guy, high school kid from North Dakota, he was one of the greatest high school basketball players in the country. And was also the captain of the University of Minnesota basketball team during his era at the university. So he's been I think an adult-long resident of the city of Edina, and we're grateful to have both these guys here. So thanks for all the wonderful work you're doing. When I was a kid growing up in North Dakota, Paul and Prestis and Phil Jackson used to go at it head to head all the way through high school. They were both the same age. So it was really something to behold when you were a young kid going out to the state basketball tournament at the University of North Dakota. Watch those two guys play basketball. It was incredible. Mayor's Outstanding Senior Commendation. Gordy, you want to walk back up? And then I'm going to have Bob Stewart come up too, because Bob has read Gordy's book, and Bob's picked out some key parts of it that he wants to talk about relative to Gordy. So, Gordy, come on up, and I'll talk about you first, and then we're going to let Bob probably humanize it a little bit more. This will be good, but Bob's will be better. Retirees everywhere take advantage of their golden years to travel. Others devote themselves to volunteering. 90-year-old Gordy Lewis has found a unique way to marry those twin passions. Any given week, Gordy can be found crisscrossing the upper Midwest, couriering patients to Rochester's Mayo Clinic in his single-engine Cirrus SR-22 airplane. He provides his time and services through Angel Flight Central, a Kansas City-based nonprofit that provides free air transportation for any legitimate, charitable, medically related need. Last year, Gordy surpassed 300 career flights with Angel Flight and received the organization's first Lifetime Achievement Award. A longtime Edina business owner of Lewis Engineering, Gordy has been an active member of the Edina Rotary Club for nearly 40 years. He's a major donor to the Rotary Foundation and has served the club generously, hosting fireside chats at his home to bring members together in an informal setting for many years. He's an incredible individual. And Gordy, I want to thank you so much for living in our community and being such a wonderful part of our town. Bob?
Oh, yeah. And before I mention a few things about Gordy, let me say this to follow up on what Rick and Paul said. Yes, the golf course will look finished in August, but you will not get to play on it until a year from this April. So don't be tempted to get out here with your golf clubs and rip up our brand new golf course before it's ready for you to play on it, please. Yes, Gordy's daughter Stephanie and I cook breakfast together once a month at the Dorothy Day Center. And so I knew her before I knew Gordy, which is rare for people in Edina because Gordy has so many friends and he knows so many folks in Edina. But his contributions to our community go back a long, long ways. Gordy and his wife Laverne had 3 children, Mary, Stephanie, and John. And he's had a long and love-hate relationship with the city of Edina because of a few things. Back, I think it was Fire Chief Kehoe who got to know him when in the parking lot at the engineering company, they'd have a giant bonfire and actually even had to close some roads, I think, because the smoke was blocking things. But it was all in service to the community because they were burning the remnants from the senior party preparation back in the years. So, yes, Gordy has also been the captain of many vessels. His boat on Lake Minnetonka was called Vertigo. He, as Mayor Hovland said, he flies a Cirrus airplane and does great service with it. But I have been warned that I'd be wise not to be a passenger in his automobile. Gordy, the quote is that I had heard was Gordy said, well, it takes 2 to have an accident, and Gordy figures the other person will look out for him. When understanding the genetic material that she had combined hers with, when Laverne was asked, as she was about to give birth to their first child, and this is before the days of ultrasound and these other miracles that can tell us things about our children before they're born, the nurse asked Laverne what she was hoping to have. And Laverne thought for a minute and thought about Gordy being the father, and she said, "A puppy?" So the garden club might be interested in having Gordy be a member. He, although he really maybe can't take credit for himself, but at one point one of his neighbors or friends who was over pointed out that he had a really healthy crop of marijuana growing in his backyard. So I think daughter Mary might have had something to do with that, but we don't want to cast aspersions. That's Stephanie. And so to sum it up, when Gordy's children were running around the neighborhood, Gordy's advice to them when he said, "Hey kids, if your friends tell you, my dad can beat up your dad," just agree with them. Gordy, thank you.
Well, I've been a proud resident of Edina for 57 years, and I plan on being a proud resident for another 57 years. Thank you. I'm grateful and I'm humbled.
Having my colleague Bob Stewart come up made me think about being in this very room on Saturday morning for a town hall meeting. And I was thinking as they were talking about Phil and Oscar's traits, I thought they would have been good participants in the town hall meeting on Saturday. Quiet, good listeners, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, so we've got youth commendations. I'm going to hold these. Sharon, do we know what happened to all of the high school students? We don't. Let's hold that and see what happens with them and see if they come in. We got some interesting students to talk about. So Regina, would you come up and join me, please? Regina Neville was on the school board, and Regina is going to get the mayor's commendation for service to youth, and we've got some wonderful things to say about you. Regina Neville has given countless hours to young people in the Edina community. As a member of the Edina School Board from 2009 to 2017, Regina was a strong advocate for the students of the Edina Public Schools. For 8 years, she kept her focus on the needs of all students, advancing the district's commitment to achievement, access, and opportunity gaps so that all children could reach their full potential. Regina served as chair of the board's policy committee, a member of the board's teaching and learning committee, and as school board clerk. She served on the board of the Edina Education Fund and supported efforts to secure resources to further the educational goals of local students. She's been an ardent supporter of equity efforts in the Edina community. She upholds the values of a community committed to ensuring access and opportunity for all residents, regardless of race, culture, socioeconomic ability, sexuality, or gender. She truly believes that every child is capable of greatness and has given countless hours of service in support of their future. And I feel like one of the elements we missed here was all your theater activity. But you have been such, you have been such a wonderful addition to our community in every possible way. And all the time you've given to our children to make this place. I mean, in Edina, kids are number one, education number two. You've been right there working on those two most important things in our town. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Hovland. This was a surprise and very humbling. I'm very touched, so thank you so much. Not all of us have the opportunity to be born in Edina and grow up here, but if you ask any of us who did not but chose to move here, the reason you're going to hear most often is the schools. And that's why my husband and I chose Edina, chose to raise our family here. We have never regretted it. And we have great schools. But we have great schools not just because we have amazing kids, and we have amazing children, but they have amazing families. We have an incredible partnership with our city, and we have the dedication of a lot of people. It's not an accident. Even if people don't have their own kids going through this school district, education is something that this town supports, and it shows. So I share this with a lot of people who have really made education something that we can be very proud of, and something that I know will continue for many generations to come. Thank you.
Forgot to point out earlier, I think Bob did it. Stephanie and John, you want to raise your hands? Gordy's children, two of Gordy's children. And then Tom, Regina's husband, is here as well. Tom's got, to me, a fascinating job. He does, he's in China quite a bit, where they work on these buildings for Cirque du Soleil, where they're going to perform. And so all over the world, he's helping build these new facilities for Cirque du Soleil, and we have had some really interesting conversations about, particularly, I guess, water features, which struck me as something that our council was interested in conjunction with particularly the Market Street project we have going on now, where we're going to have a new public gathering spot down there that will have some kind of a water feature. So we're going to stay in contact with you on that. I'm going to still hold off on the kids, the students. And then I'm going to go to Scott Denfeld, who the mayor's awards also include a community involvement commendation to a city employee for outstanding volunteer service to the community above and beyond their position with the city. So Scott, welcome.
Thank you.
And so Scott Denfeld serves as the video production coordinator for the city of Edina. Just does an incredible job for our council and for our entire community. He's also been the president of the Hopkins Area Little League for several years and has done wonders for the league and the community. The Little League serves approximately 300 families from Hopkins, Edina, Minnetonka, Plymouth, St. Louis Park, and Eden Prairie for our traditional baseball programs, and 75 families for Challenger Baseball for players with physical and mental challenges. To the casual observer, Little League is a 90-day season in the spring and summer before people head to the lake in July. The reality is that Scott works year-round to coordinate the board and Little League. He meets monthly with district presidents, the Little League board, and frequently serves on subcommittees to keep things moving. He also represents the Little League to the Hopkins Public Works Department, the Park Board, the Council, and the Mayor to help advance park and league improvements. Scott's also been generous in his professional associations, serving as a contest judge and regular presenter to the Minnesota Association of Government Communicators. He's also served on the Board of Governors for the Upper Midwest chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences for 8 years. He's an incredible asset for the city of Edina and for the community in which he lives and the community which he serves, which is ours. So please help me thank Scott Denfeld and congratulate him for getting this award. Thank you, Mayor.
So this morning I was explaining to my 10-year-old and 6-year-old boys, reminding them that I wouldn't be around this evening. They have Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, and so I said, I won't be around to take you there. And so my 6-year-old asked, what are you getting an award for? And I said, well, it's for all my volunteer work, Little League, and all of that, you know. And he said, well, why do you do that? And I said, well, it's really because of you guys. You know, I volunteer because of you guys. And he said, well, doesn't that mean we should be getting the award? So maybe I'll share that with them. But it's a good reminder, though, that all of us here, we volunteer for a reason, and it's other people who help other people make other people's lives better. I get to be part of that primarily through Little League, also Cub Scouts and other things. But Hopkins Area Little League does encompass a little bit of Edina, and I'm hoping to make it more of Edina because we've had a lot of families kind of join us. But one thing I'm very proud of that I want everybody to be aware of is really our Challenger program, and that Challenger program is supported by Little League. It's pretty rare. Most Little Leagues or most just baseball organizations don't really give it much thought, and what it is it's open to kids all the way from 4, 5, 6 years old all the way up to 18 and 19 all over the metro area to come play baseball for free, and they all have some kind of developmental challenge, mental, physical challenge. So it's awesome. I mean, we have people driving 20 miles or more every Sunday to come play baseball, and it's totally funded by volunteers and by Little League. So that's the thing I'm most proud of with the organization that we do. It's just nice to see kids just out there enjoying summer at a baseball field. So, but yeah, so I'm just proud to receive this. It's obviously a lot of work, as everybody knows. It's not just me, it's all the volunteers I work with, and you know, my boss supports me and my schedule and everything. So quite proud to receive this on behalf of everybody that works hard to make baseball happen in the area around Hopkins. So thank you.
How many of you have been to a TEDx talk in Edina? All of you should be thinking about this. It comes up in October, and people are going to show up there. I don't know how many speakers they'll have, but they had auditions. They've had 2 sessions of auditions. My wife and I were at one of them to act as evaluators amongst a group of other people. And the presentations were just incredible, and I'm thinking about them because there were high school kids there that got up and made presentations for 3.5 minutes that seemed like they'd been doing public speaking for 20 years, and they were just incredible. And I don't know what happened to the 3 that we were going to have here tonight. They probably, oh, one of them's here. All right, come on up. You're going to represent all 3. Yeah. Good to have you here. So this is Haley Chrysler, and we're going to talk about Haley first. And Haley is a senior at Edina High School. She's one of the leaders of Club 350, which is a high school group that volunteers at Countryside Elementary School every Monday. She has shown unwavering dedication to this organization. She's thoughtful and caring while working with the elementary students and has just gotten the highest reviews and rave reviews from the people that work with her. So please help me congratulate Haley on being such a wonderful volunteer at such a young age.
I'd like to thank everyone here with me today, my parents, as well as the two lovely ladies sitting at my table, Veronica Whalen and Mary Fink. They are the two adults who have helped impact my community service the most. Veronica through OLG Parish as my youth coordinator, and Mary Fink as the Edina High School Youth Community Service Supervisor. So thank you all.
Thank you. Artie Arathi Garamella is a senior at Edina High School. She's the president of the Interact Club at the Edina High School, and that's a Rotary-affiliated organization. Under Artie's leadership, the Interact Club has grown in membership to over 100 students, the largest since the chapter was founded. She also was responsible for beginning a strategic planning effort for the club so that the future leadership has a path to continue growth and success. Artie has successfully led in-school Interact fundraisers and has raised visibility for the Rotary mission at the school, recruiting students for various youth service projects, including an ethics seminar, Camp Enterprise, and Camp Ryla. Both camps are designed for upperclassmen to learn about leadership and the free enterprise system. So please help me thank Artie for her great work with Interact. And we'll make sure we get this to her. So one of the reasons I thought about TEDx was this young woman was at the evaluations the other night, and get a chance to visit with her once in a while, and she's just a dynamic young woman. Samya Mangalik is her name. Samya is a senior at Edina High School as well, and next year she'll be going to, she told me, I think American University in Washington, D.C. She's an AP scholar with distinction, captain of the Edina High School debate team, speech team, and academic world quest team. She's the head of the leadership team for the school's hip-hop dance team and an all-state choir member. Samya founded Edina's chapter of the United Nations Foundation's Girls Up campaign, which focuses on empowering girls worldwide through service and leadership. She coordinates all of the group's activities and manages more than 500 members. She also serves as a student commissioner on the Human Rights and Relations Commission, and that's where we've had the pleasure of getting to know her better. A leader of Edina High School's 212 Leadership Cabinet and vice president of the Edina High School Mosaic Initiative, a new initiative aimed at bringing Edina's community together in divisive social times. Last year, she helped organize and gave the keynote speech at the school's first Unity Walk, attended by more than 1,000 community members. And we're doing a Unity Walk again this year, and you should watch either the city website or the school website for, and Ellen, do you happen to know the date off the top of your head? Sometime in May will be the second Unity Walk. And last year, Samya was one of the speakers after the walk, and just dynamic young woman.
It's Thursday, May 17th at 2 o'clock.
Meet at the high school. All right, thanks, Bob. So please help me recognize Samya as a wonderful student in our community. So that's it. We all benefit so much from this volunteer work. We raise ourselves up by helping raise others as well. So I want to thank all of you for coming out here this evening. It's a beautiful spring night, and it was wonderful to be together with all of you and share this time together. So continue to enjoy each other's company, whatever your schedules permit, and we're finished for the evening. Thank you.